brittle stars entering sort of a closed vase type of a sponge like this at an early stage, and then they wind up getting stuck in there with no way out. And that may work well because he's totally protected in there, I would imagine. Yeah, these are big ice pods. Let's see what we've got. Les Watling said, yeah, he said it's one of the fish parasites. This is bizarre. That's in the sponge. He said it's a seamount. And so he was also talking about, so it's an amphipod or an isopod? Less a seamount. I'm sorry, I don't know these animals very well. I think it's an isopod. I think he was just talking about another amphipod that he described with Jim Thomas that gets trapped in glass sponges. That's Les Watling in the biology program at the University of Hawaii. I think we're good, pilot, but that's a pretty cool observation when video's ready. Yeah, he says the seamount is an isopod.
All right, let's let him go.
Wow. Needless to say, they're not going to get on any fish in there, I don't think. We were talking about this yesterday, is how these isopods may intercept fish. And they can swim normally, and then they just encounter a fish and they can latch on very quickly. Nice couple different types of possible isodellas. More of these bamboos overgrown with zoanthids. That's that sort of yellow tinge on the one that we imaged a little while ago. Anything loose up ahead, pilot, over to the left, or is it all cemented? I just keep looking.
A couple
for
round dots of something.
Looks pretty cemented, I guess. This isn't a rock pile. I guess it's a pile of pillow lavas. But
Copy bridge.
Not seeing anything.
No.
I mean, that one in the lower right is small again, probably crust.
Lower right? Oh, it's sitting on top? Yeah, that might be crust. And the one's kind of too big there in the left side of the pocket, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll just keep our eyes open. One and only rock that we tried to grab, it was cemented solid. It was really the only candidate we'd seen all day.
That branch on the left looks sort of curvy and long stranded.
Another candelabra bamboo, glass sponge.
Stuffed my port, pilot.
Copy him, saddling right.
10-4.
If you don't have, not looking at feed 3 right now, we're at 1945, 1,945 meters. We're climbing up the wall of a volcanic cone, and the top's somewhere around 1,800 meters, so it's a little ways away still. And even though we're not
thick and a thin
near the summit
stalk
yet,
up ahead,
we found a really beautiful bed of particularly bamboo corals, along with a lot of other corals. And as we've climbed up this slope, the flank of this volcanic cone, the density has been steadily increasing. A nice side shot of some of these big bamboo colonies. We approach. Oh, is that a fish or what is that in the water, pilot?
Floating left,
right.
right.
I think it's a guyot gnat. Yeah, guyot gnat, that's what it is. I guess it is. Yeah. Well, guyot gnat question mark. Thank you.
Okay. Thumbed up.
A lot of times they'll kind of flinch, and then you know for sure it's one of those, but he didn't flinch. By flinching, I mean he suddenly takes off.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yes, he doesn't care.
Come on in. Going tight.
Yeah, tight look at him. You usually can see their eyes, or I'm not so sure it is a guyot gnat. He's some type of a worm of some kind. Let's see what the chat has to say. Nemerdian, excuse me, Les Watling thinks it's a Nemerdian worm. Thank you. That's why I didn't take off.
It's inside your
That's not
lens.
at all what I thought it was.
Focus.
Yeah, let's let him go.
Thank you, pilot. You're giving somebody
Surrounded
who actually
by,
knows what we were looking at a chance
we
to
full
see.
wide. Surrounded by a lot of corals here. I just don't want to knock anything over.
What was that?
That was it was a Nemerdian worm.
Huh. I don't see those very often.
No, I thought it was a guyot gnat, and then he didn't flinch. He was just floating around even when we got quite close. And then Les finally chimed in and told us what it was. And that might be a Metallogorgia that's up ahead. That's a little more mature one. That kind of puffball plume.
Puff. I thought that was a smudge in my camera.
So we thought what we saw were juvenile Metallogorgias earlier. This looks like the more mature colony. Yep, I think that's what it is.
So we're looking at a snake star, an ophiuroid related to the same general group of brittle stars that you're typically seeing. These are a little different because the skeleton in these animals has a layer of tissue around them that gives them added flexibility, and so they're able to coil quite tightly around the branches of these host corals. They do this in order to take advantage of presumably the water currents bringing food as it's proceeding through the branches of the coral. These can be very tightly wound around the host's animals, and they really don't come loose if you try to sort of release them or take them off of these corals, especially after, say, if you've had them as museum specimens. They don't uncoil. They're
full screen.
Kind of
very
tightly
for progress,
associated with these hosts.
Well, then how does he feed if his
Move
arms
the map
are
a little bit so
completely
you can see
wound
kind of
up
ahead.
like that?
It looks
How does
like
he
the
get-
arm
Thanks.
tips sort of flit around in the water currents, or maybe the water actually,
I think we're going to
or not the water,
1800.
but the
Laser
mouth
clear.
perhaps
Pretty close to
picks food out as the
Kill lasers
water blows
Lasers
by.
coming
it.
off.
I'm not sure.
Lasers
Sometimes
off.
I think they do extend their arms at various times,
Going full
as we
screen
saw the other
stand.
day. So
Good.
it's really strange.
Tilt down. Okay.
Okay.
Video's clear.
Wide.
So Les was saying, notice how the pinnules of the polyps cover almost all the space between the polyps.
Video
So
swapping
essentially
out.
it's a net, a barrier net that'll catch anything that gets near it because it's closed everything off.
Well, having come back from lunch and having had my warm cookie, I now feel inspired to go see some cookie stars. So let the goniastrids appear now, please. Unleash the plinth-aster.
Your inner flintaster, is that what you're saying? Oh yeah. And you see that pilot that Nicola had spotted a sea cucumber between the branches there below the lasers.
Yep, I see it. We're just swapping
Okay.
video
got it,
right
thank
now.
you.
All right, when you're good video, we can zoom in on the sea cucumber.
Got a
Copy bridge.
Do you want lasers back on or leave them off
This is
for
a
now?
different one than the one we saw previously.
Yeah, this one is more Amperima-like,
Right.
more like an
leave 'em off.
Opidiid. It has little, well, they're not little, but they have very big legs, relatively speaking. We're kind of looking down on the animal, and we can see one of its feeding arms right on the mouth as it's proceeding to sort of pick up little tiny yummy oozy bits from the seat floor, and it'll pick those up in conjunction with all of the sediment and digest them in sort of a way similar to the manner that earthworms feed. And you can see the gut through the transparent body wall as the sediment gets processed down the upper intestine and then the lower intestine, where they're sort of cast out at the end. And these are important for deep sea ecology because they can change the microbial faunas of the sediments, as well as simply freeing up the soil for other burrowing organisms which live in the sediment.
Hey, thank you, pilot.
Yep. Come on out, video, when you're ready. Good lasers back on, co-pilot.
There's another
Got lasers.
Tristopathes black coral to the left.
Okay, pushing
Got
ahead.
one earlier.
So I didn't miss that earlier. How are we doing on time?
We're doing pretty good.
What's our average speed that we need to hit?
0.064.
Oh, wow.
Somebody had changed the time at 50 meters to 13:59,
Oh, that's not good.
which kind of messed me up a little bit before, but yeah, we're on track.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Oh, is it for
Another
the water
bamboo
transects,
that's
maybe?
overgrown by
Maybe.
zoanthids.
Yeah.
We've seen that
Okay.
a bunch of times, but we don't see any sea stars eating this. This would be a buffet for them, don't you think?
Well, yeah, it would be, but I think as we've mentioned before, there tends to be sort of other extraneous factors that probably contribute to settlement. There could be,
What was it? What
Emily,
did Emily see?
she saw something to the left,
Maybe we could pan left a little bit. I didn't quite see what she was pointing out.
something that I would like to see very much.
Oh, and there's more isopods in a Walterius sponge.
There we go.
There we go. Finally.
Good going.
Way to go, Emily. Score. We just haven't seen a lot of this, if hardly any of this on the cruise of this guy.
Yeah,
on Bamboos.
well, I was going to say I'd almost given up hope, but a lot of
come
times
on
there are
in.
limiting factors. Sometimes I think density, but also what keeps the larvae from settling, what makes them more common in some areas than others.
Oh, he's trimmed that branch.
Yes, he sure has.
So this looks like it is probably
Oh, we kill lasers?
Sure.
Evoplasoma, sort of a more broadly armed one. So this family of Goniaster, there's a family of sea stars, the Goniasteridae, and there's a subfamily known as the Hippasterinae. They all tend to have spines. They all have these large, heavily built-up skeletons, and almost every time you see a sea star feeding on a coral like this, it's probably either Hippasteria or Evoplasoma. There's certainly 2 or 3 other genera which are predators on coral, but these are the most numerous ones. And they literally will climb up with their tube feet. Sometimes the stalk of the coral is directly between the tube feet as they crawl up the individual tube foot grooves. But they're very efficient, and we've seen them devour the polyps inside primnoids even, just leaving behind the leftover sort of materials after they've eaten the insides, kind of like the way I just had my cookie. Anyway, but this one I think is probably Forcipifera. It looks like it's done quite an efficient job of cleaning off the animal from the bottom all the way to the top. It makes me wonder how old it is, because it's probably been around for quite a long time, and has spent for all I know, it's spent the last year or so just devouring its way up to the top of this animal. Hard to say, but we've had evidence. There's other evidence that certain sea stars spend a year or longer just hanging out on a coral, eating its way through it. So, anyway, really nice. And I'd like to dwell here for 5 minutes, but I think we have to move on. So,
is that Forcipager? I forgot.
FOR SIP.
CIP.
Sipifera. Yeah, Forcipifera. Forcipifera.
Forcipifera. Okay, got it. I just forgot how to spell that, because I remember.
Oh, I should have just put that into C-Scribe right now.
It's already in, and it's gone already, right?
Yeah.
The ship's not moving though, co-pilot. So.
Okay,
okay,
let's note that it was. He thinks
When
it's
did it
eating
stop?
a D2 clade.
A while ago.
Okay.
Isolated coral. So yeah, thank you very much. Tina noted it's not a cookie star, more like a muffin star.
Yeah,
I can see all of this. This is all going to take off. We were joking about brownie stars the other day. Let's see, we could have cornbread stars. We could have.
Strangely enough, there was a nickname for something like that once.
I think we can pass by the space sponge pilot, unless there is an animal in it.
Just do a flyby.
Yeah. Well, we think we might have seen some of the shrimp that Mary was talking about. It was really difficult to see what was inside of it, but they looked like weird shrimp. What's going on with that hole on the side of it?
Took a chunk out of it.
Something did. That's pretty strange.
Or maybe a fish rubbed up on it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Kind of a funny cylindrical.
It could be, again, one of my things, because I think there was actually a specimen you brought to the museum or sent to the museum that was inside one of the sponges that you had collected. And
Pilot, sorry. Those are just opioids. Never mind. I was trying to see if we could find some more of those. Another observation of the isopod.
Your laser's off. You want to turn back on, Fred?
Sure. Let's do a
I
partial
suppose,
here.
yeah, we could do a partial. There might be.
Just
Then, yeah,
get this. Not
yeah,
sure
that's
what this is.
the umbellapathes, the black coral.
And then
These guys are hanging out here. A bunch of them we've seen already. It looks like. See, this is always kind of interesting with the brittle stars inside, but he can drape his legs out. But he can't get out, I don't think, his whole body, right?
yeah, it's hard to say because, I mean, you would think that it's pretty much got all of its arms out and can't draw them back in, but they often have what's called catch connective tissue. The joints on those spines are movable, so it might be possible. I'm not sure. I've never actually
there's another
seen it done.
anemone in here.
Look at the number of corals. They just keep getting more and more and
Snap
more.
on the anemone.
Look at that. Yeah, another one of these big, what we think are actinostolid anemones. So anemones get really big down here in
Right,
deep
coming
water.
out.
You know what's interesting? There's a discoloration on the rock
That's interesting.
right next to it. Well, in other words,
Oh, whether it
was
moved.
it moving?
You know, we've kind of suspected that with actinostolids. It may be possible for them to creep.
Okay,
Yeah,
co-pilot,
yeah.
I'm gonna call another move at 0.1
You want to look at
knots.
that again?
Yeah,
Chris,
you know,
or-
actually,
what's the average
it
speed?
was
I
an
don't wanna
interesting
too fast.
observation.
Thanks.
Right now, it's supposed to be
like to give each other
0.06.
grief. So what he's suggesting? Well,
Yeah,
explain what
that's
you're
what we call
suggesting.
So all
over.
I'm saying is that
we
so
punch way
there's
just
this sort
wait
of
a
dark
1 minute.
yellow
He's at
circle
70 degrees
adjacent
still,
to where
so-
the sea anemone is
Okay.
currently.
We'll hold off on
These
this
sea
second.
anemones are actually capable of movement. It's not very quick, and so it could be a creep, or it could be perhaps even almost simply releasing and just dropping for a moment. They can kind of, I wouldn't say swim, but some of them can actually can move around. And so what this might be is whatever adhesive the disc was using is what's left on that rock face, because the diameter of that sort of darkened circle is about the same diameter as the animal itself. So
It's a really good point.
yeah, so I'd say that there's some, that's at least a hypothesis that that's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the trace left over by the sea anemone.
Yeah, let's get lasers on it. Come out.
Yeah, that's pretty
Come out a
cool.
little bit
Actually,
video.
we saw one of these anemones on a ROV dive from the Hurl, little bitty ROV once in the Northwest Hawaiian
Yeah,
Islands,
coming
and it was kind of on a very sedimented rock, and it looked like you could see sort of a plow area that had been moving through, and we were wondering whether or not it could be where they were mobile.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at these bamboo corals, Bamboo City.
Wow.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
You know what I don't see down here?
What don't you see down here?
Seaweed. And you know where I bet we should look?
Right about above the lasers right now?
Yeah, come on in.
No,
Video.
Oh.
in the Kelp Wanted ads. And that was your deep sea joke of the day.
Oh my goodness.
Ambush style.
This is actually a rock pen. It was awesome, actually. Well, I'm not sure everybody agrees, but this is a rock pen, and it looks very similar to the one that Josh actually collected for us yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Anyway, Gary Williams is not sure about this yet from his comment, I think, but possibly Anthoptylum. We're not sure.
Okay.
But he was absolutely delighted that we got
that
one
Maxine
in
video?
the email.
Yeah, his comment was that almost every new individual of these that they collect turns out to be a new species. That's how many of these animals are so poorly known. And in many cases, that's the case for many of the corals and other animals that we see down here.
You know, I'm throwing out his name. This is Dr. Gary Williams at the California Academy of Sciences, who is one of the world's authorities on this group of octocorals, the sea pens. And the one we're looking at right now is a very unusual sea pen in that because most of them live in sediment, and this guy's figured out a way to live on rocks with this. He's got this sort of suction cup at the bottom, this bulbous base on there that he's presumably applying sort of like a bathroom plunger or something. But our pilot Josh was trying to just push this thing off of the rock a little bit, and it was stuck pretty good. The suction on it was pretty strong. Beautiful creatures.
All right, when you're good, video.
It's also worth pointing out that these are related to all of those bamboo corals that we've been seeing. They all have 8 feeding arms around the mouth on each of those polyps, and that places all of them into the Octocoralia. The 8 feeding arms have in turn little sort of crinoid swimming on the right.
He was booking it.
Wow.
He was going pretty fast. Oh,
Yeah.
there he goes. He's settled down.
This is really cool if we can zoom in on this and watch it. Yeah.
It's creepy. He looks like a deep sea monster. Look at him.
Oh, come now.
This is a War of the Worlds again right here. Look at this.
Look, it's beautiful.
It is kind of.
Don't see sponges swimming through
That's
the
true.
water with the greatest of ease. This is actually kind of cool because crinoids, feather stars, I should say, the ancestors of these animals were stocked animals, and it's thought that sea urchins were actually predators on these, and sort of encouraged this escape response because people thought that they might have been escaping from fish, but it makes no sense to escape into fish because if you jump up and swim, they just become fish food. But it does make sense if they're escaping from sea urchins because sea urchins can't swim. But the other one we saw had nice some eulimid snails on the arms as well. So that was some swimming feather star urchin or feather star action, and parasite on the arm action as well.
Got some pteropod shells in that sediment. Beautiful anthomastus there on the wall, a small one, starting out.
And come out a little bit, video.
And look at that substrate of manganese crust. Look at how thick that is. And we're panning down over this bamboo coral.
Are those snails on it? Or are those more anemones?
No, I thought I did see one snail.
Where are we looking?
It was in the branches in the back there, I think. Or maybe
One of the back
right
stalks.
above the lasers, that kind of brown spot. Looks like now they're going to do the watch change for real.
Yeah, come on in.
Oh yeah. Oh, interesting. Those are snails. What's going on with the is it a well? What's going on with that sort of round thing? There's a brown bit, and then there's a round pan, looks like a white pan. That's weird. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it. I don't know what it is.
There's one in the background. And then there's one down low by the stem.
So is this? Oh wait, this is an aplicophoran, isn't it? Not just a snail. It's a shell. It's actually one of those worm-like mollusks.
Yeah, I sort of guess so, but not absolutely sure that's what it is.
Huh.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
on.
it is.
It's on. Yeah, it is because it's on the branch. It's on
Yeah,
the
it's an
aberrant growth.
aplicophoran.
Yeah, it's an aberrant growth. We're seeing the aplicophoran on the opposite side. All right, thank you, pilot.
Yeah, come on out, video.
I think I saw another one down low.
It's a sea anemone.
It was okay.
Yeah.
There's a Staropathes, a beautiful black coral above the lasers that we imaged earlier. They're pretty easy to spot these days now that Tina Molitsova has given us an idea of what to look for on them. We have secondary branching, unlike some of the Bathopathes.
You know that bamboo coral over to the right looks partially denuded. Maybe there's something.
Yeah, they have zoanthids on them.
Oh, it does.
A lot of 'em,
It's
yeah,
got
we've been
zoanthids.
seeing that all day.
Okie doke. Oh, stuff. We have stuff. Dave here. What would you like?
We got it all. You're going to have to find something new, Dave.
Okay.
Right
Pushing
now,
ahead.
you're just seeing the leftovers from the other pilots.
Oh well, here's a.
But wait, there's more.
Along with your...
Wow.
Yeah.
Bronco aplicophoran coralomatic.
So I'll give you a couple of things that we're keeping an eye out for, Dave.
Okay.
There is a very tall Chrysogorgid. I know what it looked like, but people thought that this would be a very interesting one to collect.
That would
We
be.
saw it right in the beginning. It's not here. We saw it in the beginning of the dive. And
Is that the spiral types, or is it
a little bit different. But we figured we'd see more of them, and we didn't.
Okay.
And then, of course, sea stars. Of course, we do not have a rock yet, Dave, because I think you can tell why as you look across the seafloor.
cemented?
Cemented with rebar.
Extra strength. Well, I'll let my co-pilot get settled in here. I've pushed ahead a little bit.
Yeah, and
We'll have a look around.
who are all you people in the front row that are now sitting in front of us?
Well, in a moment, I'll wait for my new navigator to get settled in, and then we'll do hi, how are ya?
Okay. Beautiful yellow Staropathes, I think, down there to the lower left.
Let's get a zoom, please, video. That's good. Hold that. Was it this one or the one further over?
Chris,
sorry,
which one did you want?
I'm sorry, I was
it's
trying
fine.
to read the chat. That one. It's too many monitors to look at. Yeah, we're good on these. This is Staropathes for sure.
Wide.
Thank you.
So we've had a shift change here. I'm Dave Wright, your pilot with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration. To my left, my navigator.
John Kennison.
To my right, my co-pilot.
Andy Lister.
And far right in video.
Bob Knott.
And we're all with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration, and we operate the ROVs aboard the Okeanos Explorer.
And next time, Tara needs to have her headset on so she can make an introduction.
Oh.
But that's Tara Smithy and Clipping. And who have I got next to me? You're familiar. I know you. You were in my stateroom, weren't you?
And so this is Chris Kelly from the University of Honolulu, or Hawaii.
We got a couple Chris's here. Chris Ma and Chris Kelly. I'm the latter.
And I don't want to see any sponges anymore for the rest of the dive.
Well, you know, we haven't seen that many. We haven't seen many, so you may get your wish.
Oh.
This has been the coral den here.
That's true, it has, actually.
Co-pilot, move us. They're bored.
Okay.
New territory.
Navigator, move us.
Copy that. We've been going south, 20 meter jumps.
Quick
Ready for one?
credits
I am ready.
Copy that.
Nicola,
we can
Make 30 meter if you'd like.
Yeah, make it a 30-meter jump. There's
Copy that.
no point in toddling.
Your motor, VAC just went red. Is that
See that?
You know,
normal?
you could snap zoom this yellow coral right in front of us by the lasers.
Video,
Dave.
let's zoom, please.
Most of these have been covered with zoanthids, but there is a yellow color of bamboo. Is this it? Could we zoom closer on this? This may actually be the yellow form of bamboo. It is.
Okay, wide, please, video.
You can
I'll
go
get
and buy
close.
these thinking that they were zoanthids. We zoomed them twice earlier on, and they turned out to have zoanthids on them. This is the real color of the coral. It's a yellow morph.
Huh,
of
weird.
the-
That's a new one.
yeah, and Les, you're gonna have to refresh my memory as to when you get a close-up of this as to which one this is. I'm gonna try to go into the guide right now.
Okay, video, we can zoom. This will be a floater here, so just track. That's good.
There you are. So I think this would be in the Corretto Isidini S1 clade. I'm just looking at the Okeanos gallery. Now that is a beautiful coral. So I'm still seeing if Les is going to comment on this, but I'm going to go ahead and punch it in, and then he can correct that if I'm wrong. And he says this looks like the young version of one that was collected back in 2007, if I'm not mistaken. So Les, in the gallery, we've got it as the S1 clade on here, just to let you know, but he's going to look it up anyway to double check that.
And let's come wide, get the whole thing.
So we have a lot of different bamboos at this place. This is bamboo heaven.
Thank you, video.
Or heavenly
wide,
bamboo.
full wide. Snap zoom down there in the sand. Yes, thank you.
Okay,
oh, that's too far. Keep it in the frame.
That's not an enemy, right? That's a
It
true
is.
Cereantid. Well, this could be a Cereantid, though.
I don't see the secondary ring.
Back in.
I think it's that same anemone.
That fools you because it looks
Yeah.
like it does, right?
Yeah.
Do we need any more detail here?
How about a quick snap zoom?
Okay,
just a
more
little bit
zoom
closer.
now that
There we
I've
go.
calmed down.
I don't know.
Backing up a smidge.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm
Oops.
trying to look at that dark patch right in the center of it, Pilot.
Yeah, I'm way high. That's what's the issue.
Okay.
I don't want to come down and
I think
squash
Chris
the...
is right. I think this is
Just
an
come wide,
anemone.
please.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Full wide.
There's I guess it's a big sponge in the background there. Good.
There's a dead one and just to the left.
And in the Rittigorgia, we got one earlier on the dive. They're not common. That sponge over the left was a regadrella that we already imaged. Well, what else we got?
Ooh, big one there. With the
There's another yellow one, another lyrate bamboo, so a variety of different bamboo corals here. A hemicorallium, which we got as well earlier.
Now, see, this is where I would think that we'd be seeing way more of these sea stars.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if there's just some other factor.
Because there's food for them?
Yeah, a lot of food. A nice view of along the slope here. Show how dense this area is.
What is this feathery looking thing bottom center?
That's a Walteria sponge. We're looking for ones that actually have things inside of them. That's empty.
Okay.
We saw one, Dave, that actually had big, huge fish parasites trapped inside, if that makes any sense at all. And we got some really good image of them, these isopods. This was about an hour ago or so.
Could the isopod possibly survive by grazing on the insides, or are they doomed?
Well, they figured out some way to make a living because they ain't getting out of that sponge. Or at least I don't see how they would.
Well, they probably weren't fish parasites then. They might have been the same family, but
good point.
I mean, they're isopods occupy all sorts of ecological
Let's
niches.
get another one going here.
So a lot of these bamboo corals are something that we just refer to now as Isidella weberi. And it's a regadrella sponge, or at least a corbitellinae, a euplectellid vase sponge. And they're in the glass sponge group. It's about as consolidated a substrate as we've come across on the whole cruise. Brittle, yeah.
Hey Nev, what's our distance to destination?
420. So we maintain
overgrown by
0.07
zoanthids. We saw that
knots.
earlier.
Very doable.
Okay.
So, Pilot, what we were looking for, too, I was giving you a little bit of a list, is if you see one of these vase sponges, like the one up top, that's got two white blobs in it, and, you know, this one doesn't look like it. The one in front of us is dead, and the one beyond it is alive, but you can see the white blobs from a distance. They may have these para shrimp inside that Mary Wickstein of Texas A&M is really interested in, and says that they just don't know what they are.
Okay.
And it would be a potential collection option.
Alrighty.
Okay, if you zoom in on this glass sponge that's up
Yeah,
ahead, you'll see that
there's
white
something
thing.
in it,
Oh,
yes.
there's a fish. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Above it.
Bonus, okay.
Yeah, let's
Slow
get the
zoom.
fish.
Let's hold that.
He's being very cooperative.
Well, we're some distance away, so he's just curious. What?
So this is a cutthroat eel.
Co-pilot, it should be about
And
done
the
to swing. You want to put another move in?
Blankety.
Ready.
Copy.
A little bit more zoom.
And
That's good. Thanks.
I'm not exactly sure which one this is. I don't think the dorsal fin is
Lasers
far
off.
enough back to be breva dorsalis, but I'm going to suggest Synaphobranchus. These eels, I think, have got their name because they have a slit right underneath their chins. Their tail is very distinctive. It looks like it's notched almost. They're pretty easy to spot from quite a ways away.
Lasers off, please.
Lasers
A
off.
great view of this thing. Maybe he's got white lateral line. Now that helps, because maybe that it could put him in the Iliophid group. Go try to remember. I get this backwards sometimes.
He's come into the bright part of our lights and giving him a headache here. So let's pull out slow, please, video.
Yeah, so this could be an Iliophid, so thank you very much for that. To go in and correct my ID on this one. So we're looking at that white
Yep.
spot on the
Right here. Let's zoom in halfway, please, video. Oh, it's a hold
it's a
that?
crinoid, is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, looks like
Yeah,
a
it's like
crinoid
Well,
in that
there's
area.
there's two somethings. Yeah, one on the far side.
And it looks like it's got a second funnel coming off of it. It's kind of a weird shaped sponge anyway.
It's got two horns.
Two horns, yeah. The devil sponge.
There is something inside. Maybe a shrimp. It's darker colored. Let me get a toe down here and we'll do a proper job of... I may have to go around the other side. In fact, that's what I will do. Wide, please, video.
I think we're good, pilot. We could probably pass on this one.
Well, I'll just look around the backside on my way out of the neighborhood because I thought I saw something inside there down below. Maybe it was just on the far side. Zoom again,
Yeah.
please, video.
A couple more
Hold
crinoids,
that.
maybe.
See that
Yeah,
a little
little
reddish? I
discoloration.
can't really tell from here floating around, but there is something in there, but it's pretty hard to see. Okay, wide,
this is
please.
Walteria lucardi, or something close to it. It's a glass face sponge. Tina Molotsova told me, and I should have known this, I suppose, that this sponge was named by Charles Schultz, who was many, many years ago, and I guess it wasn't really clear whether he named it after somebody or not. He probably did.
Snap zoom. Hold that. Nope.
It's just a brittle
Yep.
star. Yeah,
Wide.
the isopods were really distinctive when we saw that.
Okay.
The shrimp that Mary was talking about was actually in a sort of a flaring face sponge that we
Okay.
saw earlier on. about straight ahead, pilot.
Yeah.
And I can't see the lasers. I'm not sure where they are.
Oh,
I can
turn
turn
it
it
back
back
on.
on.
Yeah. Just doing beauty shots there. You're talking about the coral
Yeah.
right here, snapstone?
Yeah, these are
Just
corallium. Yeah, it was something. I thought I saw something. It was just an end-on view or something. This is Metallogorgia. We got some good imagery a little while ago of this
okay,
guy.
wide, please.
So, Chris, would sea stars find this type of consolidated substrate attractive? Do they need, even if they're eating bamboo, do they need sedimented areas for any reason? Or?
I've not seen any cases where that was a requirement, but typically they notice the sea star and what it's feeding on rather than sort of the adjoining sediment. So it might be, but that also looks at the adult. It's possible that sediment might be an important consideration for juveniles, for example. So there are a lot of adjacent environmental factors that probably
Fish
go
soon.
into it.
Oh, yeah, we got a fish. Okay. It's that little rat tail or
speedy
grenadier.
guy. Yep.
I'm just going to go to grenadier on him. Thank you for that.
They're always in a hurry somewhere.
Yeah, well, that was a good enough look to probably get us in the ballpark on him.
Facing due west. Ready for another one.
No, these are all bamboos. We saw, we saw some Candidella primnoids earlier down below, and there may be some smaller ones that are mixed here. But almost every coral you're seeing here, well, are bamboos. That might be an exception straight ahead.
This view is due south.
So that's looking directly up the slope of this volcanic cone that we're on. Let's see here. No. That's a dead sponge, but it's worth a look.
Okay.
We haven't seen any live members of these.
Zoom, please.
Yeah, so this
Hold.
is in the family Furiidae. I'm not going to log it because it is dead. They become brown, filled with sediment and other things when they die, but they can still remain upright and looking almost the way they do when they're alive, except when they're alive they're white and translucent. So we have not seen a live one of those, so keep an eye out for it.
Wide, please.
Fish.
There we go. This is a different guy. He's in distant. Let me
And he's
move up
got
a little bit.
a parasite on his head.
Yep. Stand by video.
All right, now,
Maneuver.
whenever you're ready.
Hold.
Okay, I got a
Copy that. I was going to wait one more minute.
possible on this
so we don't
one.
suck
Look at
on,
that
but
nasty
good.
isopod on him.
copy.
So that is a grenadier, and it's in the family Macruridae, and that looked like to me Coryphenoides. Things that you look for when you're trying to ID fish. Quickly there is filaments coming off of its pelvic fins, the size of the eye, size of the dorsal fin on it, and there is that a sea star right here, Chris?
To the left
oh,
there?
it's,
No, I think that's a
Fish
Another
down
fish.
low.
Another
Zoom,
fish.
please.
sure.
Well, we can take a
Oh,
look.
we have another fish. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
Hold.
Oh, this is different. Whoa, what is this?
Okay.
It's an ophidiid, or
Okay, lasers off, please.
Lasers off.
oh, we haven't seen one like this for a long time.
Looks
It's an-
vaguely familiar somehow.
Yeah, oh, it's an ophidiid.
It is an ophidiid.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for those of you who need a Okeanos Explorer t-shirt, time to go get one.
So it's this. I didn't get a good look at him. I was trying to Yeah, there he is. So you see how scooped his head is? That's what I was looking at. It's either an ophidiid or maybe a bathydid, a live bear, but I'm going to put it tentatively as an ophidiid. Could be that, I'm going to look in the gallery right now. Okeanos online gallery.
Get it off screen pretty quick
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Basogygus walkeri is what it could be. I'm going to put
Snap soon.
Turning to follow you.
Okay, wide please.
I turned about 20 degrees to follow you.
Yep, I'm coming back.
There was a red thing on a coral. I don't know if there's any interest. I am lying back up at 180.
Right off,
Okay.
close together. And there's another one.
There's another, yeah.
And another one with a parasite, unless it's... No, it's not. It doesn't have a parasite, so it's another rat tail. Good grief.
Okay, wide
Fishes
please.
are coming out of the pillow lavas.
There's a red type of mound on the surface below that bamboo coral.
I see it. Soon.
I wonder if it's an anemone on the coral itself.
Okay, hold that. Just get closer. No, I'm gonna get closer.
I don't know.
What is that? Inquiring minds want to know.
Wow, that's a weird little thing, isn't it?
Is this a octopus, a fit octopus or
We'll
something?
get to know it better here in a moment.
Don't know. It has. It doesn't look like the eggs we saw from the other day. It looks like that's a worm on the surface of it.
Or is this a closed up
Oh, it's
Pittis skyphid anemone?
Yeah.
It is.
Sea anemone.
Yeah, if you thought I said it was an octopus, you were mistaken. You just misheard me. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I heard you say octopus.
No. You were completely wrong on there. You didn't hear that at all.
I guess not.
So,
We can move on.
okay, wide please.
Reduce my embarrassment a little bit.
Running
cheer
away
up.
from the scene of the misidentification.
You'll get a starburst out of it later.
Yeah, that was a spectacular misidentification, don't you think?
Well, if you're going to mess it up, might as well do it right.
Yeah, go big. Gives you an idea of the thicket of bamboo corals we have in front of us. Wow. Let's see what we got here. Just checking the chat room there. That's an old dead Iridogorgia skeleton with some oofies on it, probably, right? Suppose we could take a look at a pilot and see what we got covering it.
Hold that.
Well, looks like some crinoids and some hydroids.
Yeah.
Among other things.
What's the red thing? And
bit
there's
more
a
soon.
squat lobster, too. It's not an anthomastus, is it? I thought I saw coral polyps on the bottom end of it.
Yeah, I can't see it, actually.
And smacks.
Okay, that's all we got.
It's got a couple of antennae.
Some
Could
kind
be a
of crab.
shrimp. Head on.
That's that galathioid long arm spiny.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, how about that?
And a barnacle. And hydroids. All the way down.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, pilot, whenever
Wide.
video's ready.
It's inside this sponge. Snap, zoom on the sponge right center there. Is it inside it or outside? Oh, they're on the outside. Oh, wait. What's in there?
That's not the one, but
It's not the one.
yeah, these are kind of the normal things that live inside these Walteria sponges.
Okay.
Could you zoom down just for a second, please? Yeah. Okay, Paragorgia overgrown, or Hemicorallium overgrown. What is that? I think it's a Hemicorallium overgrown by zoanthids with a brittle star. Alrighty. Got that one locked in. Really
Okay.
good.
Full wide, please.
Oh, there we go, Dave.
Ah,
That's
yes.
what we're looking for.
Yes. And I got a good spot to set down, too.
Yeah. So this, if it is these shrimp, this is a possible collection option.
Okay.
But the trick is how to get them. The shrimp is what you want, not the sponge.
Well, I think it's going to be a package deal.
It'll be a package deal, but if you can make sure once you pull the sponge off, they can't go out the hole.
Right. Oh, it's not closed at the top?
It's
like
closed at the top, but where you grab it,
Okay.
presumably
So I got to
you
grab it underneath and trap
Yeah,
them.
while the
Yeah,
ship is
that's
stopped.
the idea.
Okay. Thank
Um,
you.
Well, let's ask around.
We probably have 3 minutes
everybody,
to swing. Do you want to maybe back 10 meters?
What do we think
let
here? This
co-pilot
is
decide.
I'm just going
Copy.
by a request by Dr. Mary Wickstein to
At least
get
5.
shrimp that are very, very rare.
Whatever you
that
feel, though. 5
we
to
see
10.
them out here, but
Probably do 10.
they're
Okay,
almost
that's fine.
never collected. And I'm going to throw this out to the group. I got a little excited there, but we'll zoom in on it to see if they're even the type of shrimp she's talking about. Certainly, there's plenty of coral candidates as well here.
Video,
Mostly
let's zoom,
bamboos.
please.
Are these ophies or are they shrimp? These are the shrimp. I can see them already. So
Okay.
this is what she was talking about.
All right. Alrighty.
Do we have support for trying to get these shrimp via a piece of the sponge from the onshore? We don't have any biologics yet. In fact, we have no rocks either. And this sponge actually has got a commensal
Dave, I think I heard you have
nigarian
no
all over it
collection
as
so
well.
far, right?
This would be
Everything's
quite
free.
a package.
Yeah, everything is free right now.
Copy.
No samples.
Your hydraulics are spun up.
Yeah, Andy, what I'm going to have to do here, because I'm towed in here, is I'm going to have to
thank you,
capture
Megan.
it, and then I'll come off and we'll get it in the box.
Okay.
She said these are
Well, I will stand by to open and
Budgericola
close
or
quickly
something.
Okay.
as soon as you are
I've
ready.
gotten a funny name for these shrimp.
Video wide, please.
Gee,
And if you can get me set up
just
for
the
well, here, I'll do
very
it.
few species
sure.
in the
Are
world
you gonna
that
wanna
we've
put it in your
ever
port bow,
collected
probably?
of these things. They
I think
think
so.
they
Easier,
belong in
okay.
the genus
gonna
Spongicola.
retract
These guys are
everything right
kind of
now.
close to the top.
Okay, it's ready
Yeah,
to go.
Les is supported. Thank you, Les. Yeah, so Les, I don't know if you were here earlier,
Screen
but
normal?
this is either a Dictyolis or a Regadrella
Is this the
euplexella
HD
base,
feed?
but it seems to be
This is,
covered with the commensal
mini-Zeus.
anemones like
Yeah,
some of
but
the
is
other
it HD
sponges.
feed?
Yes.
It looks different to me. Maybe it's just the
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Asako, too, for
Just
your
not that
comments.
good
We're
of a
going to try
camera.
to get those. And Dave, it's a mated pair. We don't just need one
Oh.
shrimp. We need them both. Is that possible?
Talk about busting up a honeymoon.
Sorry.
Yes, we'll endeavor to capture the whole tableau. Let's see.
That's the suspicion, at least, is that it's a male-female inside of there. But
Well,
who knows?
we would hope that they're happy together. Otherwise, they're okay.